Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Kick in the pants. Welcome back. It's good to be here. If you've been following me on social, I've been away since Friday morning, I guess. Yeah, lovely 3-day conference that I went to on. It's a women's entrepreneurial conference put on by my dear friend Kimberly Olson and her team, the Gold Digger team. Amazing group of people, and always over deliver. So welcome back though to Monday Kick in the Pants. As you know, Angela Fallon, also known as your lifestyle leader, bringing you a gentle push once a week to level up in your life. A little Monday motivation and encouragement. Sometimes tips on how to accelerate your success in 10 minutes or less. So that's what we're doing here today, just like we do every Monday. One of the things I really wanted to talk about with you all is, so I told you guys I was at a conference all weekend, 3 full days. This group doesn't mess around, like loaded with speakers, panelists, you name it, a little bit of time to do some networking as well, but it's just chock full of information and great advice. Some things more strategic, some things more tactical, but I want to get tactical with you guys today because a lot of times people give you advice on how to do things and then they don't show you how to do it, right? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about here in just 8 minutes or less now. So, 10 to 20% of the people who go to conferences and trainings actually implement. Do you believe that? 10 to 20%. A majority of the people do not implement what they do or what they learn. There's a difference though in why. So whenever you go and you take like a whole, notepad full of notes or a whole journal full of notes, if you come home and do nothing with them and put them on a bookshelf, they do you zero good. You have to implement, you have to take actions. So I want to give you guys how I go implement things I learn, especially at the conference I went to. It was an investment. It wasn't free. Even though my dear friends were putting it on, it's not free. It's not free to them to put it on, right? So you have to do something with it. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips what I do. So in this case, they gave us like an agenda with notes pages in it, which is amazing. But as you're going through writing stuff down that you need to do, what actions you need to take, I recommend that you actually mark them somehow. So the things that you are going to take action on, put a star by it. I actually put a star and a circle by mine. I used to put a little box by it, like a check box. No matter what I do, I usually mark through it and then line through it. So I know that I've done it. I know it's the type A in me that wants to, gets the satisfaction out of scratching things off the list, right? So I mark it as I go along, what actions I'm going to take, not just the quotes I wrote down or some information that I wrote down. I actually write down what the action is I need to go take when I come back home, and then put some sort of symbol by it. So I can see it easily in my notes. Another thing sometimes I do, and I actually did it this time, is I may take one of the first notes pages and leave it blank. And then as I write actions down, I transfer it to that front page too. So it's kind of like a marker in my journal or in my notebook to go back to the front and write down the actions I'm going to take. Again, I write lots of things down as people speak, but what are the things that I'm going to do, and how am I going to break out those specific pieces so I remember exactly what I'm going to do when I come back. So I do both. Like in this case, this past weekend, I did both. As I wrote down notes, I would write actions. And then maybe at the end of each speaker or whatever, I would go back to the front and write down the specific actions that I am going to take. And again, I put the little star with a circle around it, or a check mark, checkbox, an open checkbox to go check off later. Another thing is, what do you do with this when you get home, right? A lot of people will lose their notebook, or they'll go put it on a bookcase and not do anything with it. You should take your list of actions. That is your action plan. You guys have heard me talk about it so many times. When you have an action plan, if I don't put it in my calendar, it doesn't get done. So that's the next step I take. When I get back home, so when I'm there, I write down my actions and put them on a single sheet, like kind of like an executive summary. And then once I get home, so after I leave an event, whether it's training, conference, whatever, um, I put it on my calendar. I take all those actions and put them on my calendar. When am I going to take these actions? It's also smart to probably put them in priority order. I kind of do that as I put them in my calendar. That's because I can process it in my head. If you need to rewrite those actions out into priority order and then put them in your calendar, do that. Do that. So, whatever makes sense to you, put them on your calendar though. Schedule the time for them. Schedule whatever time you think it's going to take. And maybe one action needs multiple steps that you need to plan in your calendar over like a month. You're going to do it for an hour and a half every Friday, or 30 minutes in the morning on Saturdays next month in order to complete that action. Maybe it's something strategic. You're going to build a new plan for something, like a podcast. I've been talking about starting a podcast since I think February. I finally put it on my calendar in the last couple of weeks, and I've moved a couple of things out as I don't get to them. And that's the next tip I have for you. So if you get to something and you put it on your calendar and you didn't get it done that day, when you move it once on your calendar to a week later or a day later, whatever it is, put an asterisk at the front of it. So when you have a meeting or a task on your calendar, it's got a title for the subject of it. When you move it the first time, put 1 star at the beginning of it, 1 asterisk, put it right in the front. If you end up moving it again, put a star next to it. My dear friend Alicia taught me this. If you get to it the second time and you don't get it done, that's it. Do not move it again. That now becomes something that has to be done that day. It is moved to your priority list. If you've moved it twice and you still haven't taken care of it, it's either stay up until you get it done, priority, and it truly is a priority that you have to do, or you need to delegate it. Those are your 2 options. That's the 2-star method. All right. So I hope this is helpful for all of you. These are the steps that I take to actually take actions instead of just taking notes and losing them. So instead of taking notes, go take actions after you learn something and actually implement. Be the top 20%. Go implement what you've learned. Go implement what you've invested in. A lot of people say that phrase, knowledge is power. That's bullcrap. Knowledge is useless if you do nothing with it, if you don't take action on it. Mark my words. So a couple of reminders. We have a master coming up. It's a week from tomorrow. So it starts on the 27th, next Tuesday at noon Central Time. I've put the link to register in the copy for this post. No matter what platform you're on, we are streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. That's in there if you want to go register. Also, don't forget that you can check out our complimentary community called the Clarity Mastermind. Just go look for it on Facebook, type in Clarity Mastermind, and it'll pop up. You have to just answer a couple of questions and you hop in. There's a ton of free resources in there too. We have resources on time management, finances, organization. Everybody asks me about organization. And we even have an awesome little freebie in there about self-care hacks in the group. So all of that is complimentary. We would love to have you in our group. So go check us out. But don't forget to not just take notes, go take action. So make sure that you go do that today. And maybe you have some stuff on your calendar that you keep moving and you need to go implement that 2-star method. I would love to hear back from you guys on how that goes for you. Okay. We're just shy of 10 minutes here. I'm so glad I made it in time. So glad to be back home and share this information with you. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Hope you get out there and crush your goals today. Happy Monday.